Hi, it's Nikki here from Happy Hormones for Life. Today, I want to talk about the gut-brain connection because it's particularly important for women going through midlife because this connection gets more and more vital as we get older. It's a fascinating relationship. It's known as the gut-brain axis, and it pretty much influences everything from our mood, our mental brain clarity, to our digestive health, hormone balance, and a whole lot more. So understanding this connection and how to look after it can be particularly beneficial as we get older. So how does this connection work? Well, it's an incredibly complex communication network. It's almost like a superhighway running from your gut to your brain, where messages travel between the two via the vagus nerve and the enteric nervous system. So that regulates your gut function, but it also influences your mental health. So the brain side of it, where stress and emotions can have a big effect on your digestion. We know that as we go through life. And that can contribute to symptoms like bloating, nausea, constipation, diarrhea, gas, pain, reflux, and a whole lot more. But the reason for that is when your body senses danger, you go into fight or flight mode. And that used to be like a lion attack. These days, it's just modern life. Or also, if you have negative emotions such as anger, frustration, sadness, loneliness, self-doubt, all those things, your stress response kicks in with that as well. So either way, you produce adrenaline and cortisol, and these hormones take priority over other bodily systems because that is your survival mode and the body wants to keep those resources. So that can affect your digestion, your immune system, brain health, that kind of thing. So on the gut side of things, our gut is home to a massive array of network of neurons and microorganisms. And they play an essential role in digestion, your immune function, and your mood regulation. So the microbiome actually produces neurotransmitters like serotonin, dopamine, and GABA, which are really crucial for our mental and emotional well-being. So when it's not in balance, when things aren't quite working so well, particularly during midlife, it can lead to things like poor gut health, but it can also be systemic. So it can include things like fatigue, anxiety, depression, hormone imbalances affecting periods or menopause, brain fog, memory loss, anything affecting the brain. And it also affects weight gain as well. And ultimately, any imbalance is going to increase the risk of inflammation and faster aging, or something called inflammaging, as we call it. Now, you won't be surprised to hear that hormones are key players in this gut-brain axis, and they can impact things in different ways. Now, cortisol, we've talked about stress. So excess cortisol production can mess with your gut by increasing inflammation. It disrupts the balance of those good bacteria, and that can lead to further problems. Your thyroid's important. So low thyroid hormones can slow down metabolism and your energy levels, and that can affect your bowel, so your gut motility, often causing things like constipation and bloating. But it also affects your brain function. When your brain doesn't have enough energy, that can cause fogginess, memory loss, lack of focus, attention, problem solving, creativity, all that stuff, but also your mood and anxiety, things like that. And then on the flip side, poor gut health can interfere with conversion of your thyroid hormones as well. So that can disrupt things like nutrient absorption and thyroid hormone imbalances. The third hormone is insulin, which we know controls our blood sugar, but also that can also change the makeup of our gut bacteria and actually how the brain gets its energy. And on the flip side, gut bacteria can also impact how well the body responds to insulin. So there's two things going on there. Estrogen, another one, fluctuating during peri and menopause, and that can affect your gut motility and your microbiome. There's a huge link there, and that obviously affects both your brain and your gut health. Serotonin, we know about 90% of it is produced in the gut, not the brain. So poor gut health can then affect the production of serotonin, and that can affect your mood, how anxious you are, but also disrupt your sleep-wake cycle too. And lastly, ghrelin and leptin are hunger and satiety hormones, and they're influenced by our gut health too. So they can impact eating behaviors and our weight. So we know how important this highway is. So how do we support this gut-brain connection? There's a few things that we can do that can really make things a lot better, particularly during midlife. Firstly, we want to be eating the right diet. So we want to be reducing sugar, refined carbs, processed foods to reduce that stress on your digestion. The less stress your gut has to deal with, the better it's going to work. You can try eliminating anything you might be sensitive to, things like gluten or dairy, for a few weeks, just to see if that's a stressor for your gut as well. That can drastically reduce inflammation if you're intolerant to those things. Alcohol is not great for either the brain or the gut, so we want to try and minimize that. We want lots of plant nutrients, so diverse, colourful veggies every day. Try and fill half your plate. Probiotic foods are very gut supporting, live natural yogurts, the sauerkrauts, the fermented foods, kefir, kombucha, all of that stuff is really good. Prebiotic foods as well feed those good bacteria, so things like onions, leeks, garlic, and cold potatoes and green bananas. Two of my favorite things. They have this thing called resistant starch in them, which your gut, your good bacteria absolutely love to eat. So keep those cooked potatoes overnight, make a cold potato salad or something like that. And green bananas, don't let them get too ripe because then they just turn to sugar. Good fats, really important for everything: olive oil, coconut oil, avocado, nuts, seeds, oily fish, all of that. Avoiding those vegetable oils where possible. A little bit of apple cider vinegar or digestive enzymes can really help to aid that first stage of digestion in the stomach. And then hydration, make sure you're drinking plenty of water, especially when it's hot or you're exercising. Number 2 is stress management. We've seen how cortisol affects your gut. So we've got to be prioritizing that time, that relaxation time, prioritizing your sleep. I've got plenty of resources on this. Just type in whatever it is that you're struggling with on the website. Meditation, deep breathing, mindfulness, all of that stuff. But you don't have to do that stuff. You can sit and read a book. That's been shown to reduce your cortisol. Go for a walk in nature, all those lovely things that we don't make enough time to do, but we really need to do this for our super highway to be working properly. Moving, exercise, really important as well. We want to get those nutrients around the body, the oxygen around the body for everything to work properly. Taking regular breaks from sitting, walking more, not over exercising because that can deplete your energy, and trying things that are a little bit more nourishing for you in midlife, things like yoga, Pilates, all that sort of stuff. Really, really great as long as you're moving as much as you can. And then lastly, supplements can be really helpful. I love basic supplements to make sure you're getting all those nutrients in, because we don't always get them in our diets, and also stress depletes nutrients and we're all pretty stressed these days. So getting enough nutrients in. I have my top 5 supplements that I love: a good quality multi, a magnesium, omega-3 fats, EPA and DHA, vitamin D and vitamin C. Those are my 5 basics for anyone in midlife. Do check, obviously, that if you are on medication, some of these things might interact. So it's really important, if you have a health condition or you're on medication, to check with your doctor first. And it's also really important to get good quality brands, because that's where you're going to get the active levels of vitamins that are best supported and absorbed by your body. So I have a website with all my favorite brands on that we use in our clinic. So go there, I'll put the link underneath. Digestive aids can be really helpful too, particularly if you get bloating and you're not digesting very well in the stomach. So digestive enzymes are really helpful. Probiotics and prebiotics to support gut health and that microbiome status. But again, it's important to get some advice on that, because general probiotics may not be exactly what you need. So I'd rather you got those from your food. Nootropics, if you've not heard of them, are compounds that are particularly helpful, particularly for brain health. So that can include things like ginseng, ginkgo biloba, ashwagandha, rhodiola, L-theanine, creatine, and certain mushrooms that you might have heard of, adaptogenic mushrooms, all great for brain health. If you are doing some of this or all of this already and you're still having symptoms, you may need to work with someone and dig a bit deeper to see if there's any underlying infection or imbalance in the gut, which you won't know about unless you do a really good comprehensive stool test. But whatever you do, don't suffer in silence. Contact us if you'd like more information on our stool testing or our one-to-one support, and we'd love to help. And I hope that was helpful today. Have a great day.